They were the kind of couple you'd see at church potlucks. Hard-working, quiet, unassuming. Ray wore flannel, Faye wore a cross. They lived on a modest farm in rural Missouri and rarely raised their voices, even with each other. To neighbors, they were just old country folks. The kind who still believed in discipline, family values, and a strong work ethic. But inside the barn, something else was happening. Bodies, buried, one by one, drifters, vagabonds, hired help. And the people responsible? A sweet elderly couple, in their 70s. This is the true story of Ray and Faye Copeland, America's oldest couple ever sentenced to death, and proof that evil doesn't always look like a monster. Sometimes it looks like your grandparents. Ray Copeland was born in 1914 in Oklahoma. Poor, uneducated, and raised during the Great Depression, he learned early how to survive, by cheating. He had a record stretching back to the 1930s. Fraud, forgery, theft. He was caught passing bad checks, stealing livestock and skipping bail. Faye Wilson was raised strictly Baptist. She met Ray as a teenager. They married in 1940 and over time had 5 children. Despite Ray's criminal background, Faye stayed. She raised the kids, kept the house, and rarely questioned him. She was loyal, obedient, and according to her later defense, afraid. By the 1980s, the Copelands were in their 70s, living on a farm outside Chillicothe, Missouri. But instead of slowing down, they were just getting started. The Copelands had a system. Ray would hire transient men, homeless drifters, hitchhikers, or low-income laborers, to help on the farm. He offered them a place to sleep, food, and a few bucks in cash. Then he'd take them to livestock auctions. The scam was simple. The worker, under Ray's instruction, would write a bad check to buy cattle. They'd load the cattle onto a truck and bring them back to the Copeland farm. Ray would sell the cattle quickly, before the check bounced. The drifter, whose name was on the check, would take the fall. It was fraud, but it was profitable. And because the workers were disposable, Ray felt untouchable. Until some of them started asking questions or talking too much. That's when things got deadly. Between 1986 and 1989, at least 5 men who worked for the Copelands went missing. Dennis Bell, age 21, Wayne Warner, age 27, Jimmy Dale Harvey, age 27, Paul Cowart, age 21, John Freeman, age 27. All were last seen working on Ray's farm. None of them had strong family ties. Most were just passing through. And local authorities, in a sleepy farming town, didn't ask too many questions. That's what Ray was counting on. But eventually, someone talked. In 1989, police received a tip from a former farmhand. He said Ray Copeland had invited him to write bad checks. When he refused, he felt threatened and ran. He also claimed that other workers had vanished and were likely buried on the property. Police began surveillance. They noticed something strange. Ray seemed to be visiting the same livestock auction sites over and over, each time with a different man. All of them would disappear. That was enough for a warrant, and what they found under the soil would shock even seasoned investigators. On October 17, 1989, police searched the Copeland farm. Under a pile of hay and discarded boards, they found a human skull. Nearby, bones. Then another skull, and another. Each body had been shot in the head, execution style, with a .22 caliber rifle. Some were still wearing the same clothes they had been last seen in. One had a chain around his neck. Another had been hastily wrapped in plastic sheeting. Inside the house, they found more disturbing evidence. A blood-stained mattress. Personal belongings of the missing men. And in Faye's handwriting, a list of names. 5 names on the list had already been identified as deceased. It wasn't just Ray. Faye was involved. Ray was arrested immediately. He showed no remorse. He denied everything, said he didn't know who the men were, and claimed he was being set up. Faye, on the other hand, claimed ignorance and fear. She said she didn't know about the murders, that she was a victim of spousal abuse, forced to obey Ray's commands for fear of her life. But prosecutors found that hard to believe. The handwritten name list was hers. The blood-stained clothes were found in her bedroom closet, and some witnesses claimed Faye even helped pick out victims. To the jury, she wasn't just a bystander, she was a partner. In 1990, both Ray and Faye Copeland were tried separately for the murders. Ray was tried first. He was found guilty on 5 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. Faye's trial followed. Despite her claims of abuse and ignorance, the jury didn't buy it. She was also convicted of 5 counts of murder and sentenced to death. At 69 years old, she became the oldest woman in US history ever sentenced to death. America was stunned. How could an elderly couple, sweet-looking, quiet, conservative, be capable of such horror? Ray Copeland died of natural causes in prison in 1993, 3 years after his conviction. He never admitted guilt. Faye's sentence was later commuted to life in prison without parole, after public outcry and appeals based on her age and alleged victimhood. In 2002, she suffered a stroke and was released on medical parole. She died a year later at age 82 in a nursing home. None of the Copeland children ever spoke in defense of their parents. Most were horrified by the revelations and lived in silence afterward. Psychologists and criminologists have long studied murderous couples. What drives two people, often seemingly normal, to kill together? In many cases, it's not love. It's control, mutual reinforcement, and shared delusion. With Ray and Faye Copeland, some believe he was the dominant force, a manipulator, a sociopath who used fear to bend his wife. Others believe Faye was an equal participant, one who enjoyed the power and the profit. Either way, 5 men died, and the Copelands earned a place in history as one of the most unlikely killing duos the world has ever seen. When we imagine serial killers, we often picture shadows, night stalkers, madmen with wild eyes and twisted smiles. But sometimes evil wears reading glasses, and bakes casseroles, and sits next to you in church pews. Ray and Faye Copeland remind us that danger doesn't always announce itself, that age doesn't make someone harmless, and that sometimes the greatest threats are the ones we never suspect. Their marriage ended in blood, their partnership left bodies buried and names crossed out, and their legacy is a chilling warning. Don't trust the mask. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more true crime documentaries, where every smile has a backstory and every relationship hides a secret. Stay curious, stay cautious, and never assume a quiet life means an innocent one.